In the previous episode, I visited Magnetic Island near Townsville, enjoying the koalas there. And here I sail on north to the Hinchinbrook Channel, Dunk Island, and then Mourilyan Harbor.
It's Tuesday the 16th of July. We're going through the Palm Isles, about 30 miles north, 35 miles north of Magnetic Bay. There's a whole bunch of them. I don't remember all their names. We're going to go anchor down at the end of one of these, but while it seems very nice and pleasant now, that's only because we're protected by these three islands from the swell. This morning it was crazy strong. I'd already put the triple reef main up, so I didn't have a choice. I had to keep going with it unless I was desperate, so I had to fill the jib. But now it's calmed down a lot. We've got the full main, full jib. We're on a on-bream to broad reach, and putting up the staysail messes up the jib in those conditions. If you see that grey big island in front, that's Hinchinbrook Island. You see a gap between it and the mainland, right there. We're going to try to get in there. It's a channel between Hinchinbrook Island and the mainland, and we'll get shelter there from this wind and swell. And the forecast is going to be the same tomorrow morning, and that would be horrific at the anchorage that I was thinking of, which is behind this island. So that's the plan, but it's a long way to go. We may get there in moonlight, but we've got clear skies, half moon, should be good. Well, Tuesday the 16th of July, it's been a long day of sailing, motor sailing, motoring. Oh, there's a beautiful big flight of white birds up there, maybe galas. And the place I wanted to stay, in the Palm Islands, island called Orpheus, was not going to be feasible because the swell was bad and the forecast was for, again, strong southwest winds in the morning. Being close to the land, the wind gets bent around. So here I am in Hinchinbrook Passage or Channel. That's the mainland. The sun has just set, 5:45. And this is Hinchinbrook Island. It's huge and high, and man, it's wild. It's a nature reserve or a national park. Mangroves all the way along the edges, no access. And you're going up this channel. Right now I've still got the flood with me, but pretty soon that'll end, but that's fine. Half an hour from now, I will be on anchor up there somewhere.
Here's the chart showing our anchoring spot in the Hinchinbrook Channel, which was utterly still with no movement on my anchor alarm.
Well, it's Wednesday, 17th of July, and I made it to this incredibly tranquil spot in the Hinchinbrook Channel. This is Hinchinbrook Island over here, and there's two catamarans with me. Don't know which one is Trey Amigo, but they helped me yesterday with some guidance. Here's the other one. This is called Haycock Island. It's in the middle of the main channels over there. This is a side channel that we're anchored in. And a motorboat just went through, so there's ripples on the water, but otherwise utterly still. This is the main land. Of course, everything completely lined with mangroves. And you can hear a distant rumble in the distance over there. That's because over there is the A1 highway going up to Cairns, the Bruce Highway, as well as the railway line going up the coast.
One could hardly ask for a more tranquil spot or a more beautiful blue sky day with Mount Bowen on Hinchinbrook Island as backdrop in the morning.
Another long day coming in from Hinchinbrook Channel. This is Dunk Island. This is called Bramo Bay. We're going to anchor in here somewhere near this other yacht. It's a little resort here, and there's supposed to be a nice walk. And we finally got some breeze. Oh man, we've been motor sailing all day. So we have a moon too, which is nice. It's going to be full moon for our last few days in this area before we go to Cairns.
This beach on Dunk Island had a remarkable example of what happens when a young palm tree gets knocked down but does not die.
Ah, here's a nice spot. This is Dunk Beach. Going to do a walk through to the end there and then back up through the forest. This is called the Family Isles. This is the most northerly and the largest one of them. And back there you can see, well, that's Hinchinbrook there. That's Mount Bowen, the highest point. And then back here, a couple more islands and the mainland. So many bird calls, and you can't tell what they are because they're way up in the trees, but that's one of the nicest I've heard. This trail through the trees on Dunk Island is a little bit abandoned and overgrown as a result of the resort closing due to cyclone damaging it back in 2011. Bridges like this look like they are ready to let you go straight through. There we go. It's Thursday, 18th of June. Yet another gorgeous day, not a cloud in the sky. I mean, I am so lucky with the weather. And we are absolutely charging down here. We've got this southwesterly breeze that I'm now getting used to every morning close to the shore here. Later on it does bend around and become a typical southeast trade wind, but in the mornings it's southwest and pretty strong today. Got one reef in the main and the whole jib poled out to port here, and we are flying along doing 6 knots. Very sweet. You can see the bow wave here, especially when we get a wave behind us, and there we go. Wind noise is going to be bad, but I'll hide behind the sail here, behind the jib. Got a couple of islands here called the Barnard Islands. And we're just going to go around those and into a place called Mourilyan Harbor. It's basically just a river entrance, but it is in fact a harbor because they do mass bulk sugar loading there. And I see a rock. Let's see, right in the middle there. So got to make sure we miss that.
The rock is indicated on the Ice Sailor chart as a little blue star to the right of Barnard Island. And zooming out, we see Mourilyan Harbor on the Mourilyan River up ahead.
We've left the wild ocean out there, come into Mourilyan Harbor. It's a river entrance yet again, but this time it actually is kind of a harbor. It's a bulk sugar loading facility. You can see 2 tugs here, cream colored houses, and a fairly narrow entrance here, but of course typical Australia, everything is very well marked. And I might leave in the middle of the night or even earlier, head to one of the reefs way out there. Alright, this is going to be a tranquil place, and I'm here for that reason, but also to visit with Ian Watson, Australian friend. Got quite a current coming out here. Yeah, I guess it is ebb tide.
Here is our anchorage in Mourilyan Harbor, just outside the turning circle for the ships in case one arrived. The harbor is at the wide mouth of the Mourilyan River, and I dinghied quite far up the river in search of saltwater crocodiles, eventually sighting a decent-sized one sunning itself on this river bank. However, it slipped into the water before I could get a picture. Their presence is an additional reason not to go ashore here. Indeed, on the way back downriver, a much larger one ran out through the mangroves and splashed into the water. There was an array of rather run-down liveaboard boats in the harbour. I think the boogie has ended for this one, and the guy on this other Warrum catamaran was not happy with me taking pictures. This is a rather unusual design, perhaps home-built, and here is an old motor sailor. I have now come across at least 5 boats called Moonshadow. Ian Watson is a very kind Australian I met in Nukuhiva and again in Whakarava and Wunderpoint Marina. He had solo sailed his monster 60-foot home-built ketch from Panama to his hometown of Innisfail, and he kindly picked me up and gave me a tour of the town and area. Here a view of Innisfail along the Johnson River from the headland nearby, where we saw both a red kangaroo and a cassowary along the road. After eating fish and chips by the river, we had delicious desserts at a cafe. In the next episode, I once again sail offshore due north to Sudbury Cay on Sudbury Reef, and then sail northwest to Fitzroy Island and on to Cairns via Mission Bay.